I served with the youth ministry right here at Cheltenham with Bryant. Sanctuary baseball all took place here, much to the consternation of the elder board. But Bryant was a passionate person. I think we all agree. And anyone who knew Bryant will agree with me that that passion was contagious. A lot of what you don't see in these pictures up here is that those antics were drawing half a dozen other people in to the same thing, and he could get you to do almost anything. Spend any amount of time with him and you were going to get excited about something, whether it was rock climbing, basketball, or pushing the rock, as he liked to call it, or planning a youth retreat. He got me to rappel off the steeple of a church in inner city Philadelphia as part of a David and Goliath skit, because he said, "Bill, that's the way David would have done it." And his hand was like that. He got Sean and I to dress up as old ladies to do announcements at a retreat, which fell flat. But he was passionate about his wife, his children, his friendships. When you were with Bryant, you felt that you were the most important person in his life. And he wasn't doing that for show or to try to manipulate you. He really felt that way about you, and he was excellent at giving you his full attention, and he really did value people and relationships above everything. He was a naturally gifted pastor. I learned almost everything I know about ministry from Bryant right here at Cheltenham. Probably the most important thing that I learned was the importance of being sincere and authentic in ministry. He did not put on airs or pretend to be anything other than what he was. He just truly loved people, and most importantly, he wanted to see people know God and to live for his glory. It can honestly be said of his life that he lived with reckless abandon and gave himself up fully for the gospel, no holds barred. He may have recently died physically, but he surrendered himself to the gospel for Jesus' sake a long time ago. In 2 Corinthians, there's a passage that Bryant and I used to encourage each other with that talks about how we're simply, as believers, we are simply vessels for the ministry of the gospel. This passage refers to believers who are engaged in ministry as jars of clay. Bryant and I used to agree that if the passage were written today, it would probably say styrofoam cup, because jars of clay were the disposable vessel of the day, and we'd like to call each other styrofoam cups and jars of clay. And Bryant would talk about how if someone was dying in the middle of a desert and had no water, and you gave them a styrofoam cup full of spring water, they wouldn't care about that cup. It was all about the water. And that was what he would remind me many times. That's what our relationship was with the gospel. We were just vessels to share the gospel. Even in his hospital bed, Bryant shared with me that he was so excited to be there because of the ministry opportunities that he had had. He's like, "Bill, I just feel like God has me here right now to do ministry here at the hospital." That's really how he viewed every day of his life, as a vessel to deliver the good news of Jesus. And I'm sure you'll agree with me that he really gave himself up fully for Jesus' sake. And he knew what a great privilege it was to serve the Lord. So I just want to read that passage in 2 Corinthians as I close. And as I do, I know that Bryant would want you believers today to consider this. Is your life given over 100% for the gospel? And are you living as that vessel for his precious word? 2 Corinthians 4:7-12. But we have this treasure in jars of clay to show that this all-surpassing power is from God, not from us. We are hard-pressed on every side, but not crushed. Perplexed, but not in despair. Persecuted, but not abandoned. Struck down, but not destroyed. We always carry around in our body the death of Jesus, so that the life of Jesus may also be revealed in our body. For we who are alive are always being given over to death for Jesus' sake, so that his life may also be revealed in our mortal body. So then, death is at work in us, but life is at work in you.